crack out there. As we know, it is a huge 2020 Bunnings National Touch Championships. 77 teams across 12 grades, 272 games played, and 1,232 players in total. So it's also good to see the participation in this sport of touch just growing and growing, and it's such an exciting sport to watch out there, Hika.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always been a really whānau orientated game. You hear about people saying, I've got playing with my granddad, my koro, playing with my mum, and playing with my older brothers. And there's not too many sports that can sort of say you can do that, in competitions with a lot of teams. So, I think that's a wonderful part of our game. It's a real whānau orientated game. But having said that, at the elite level, you can see that also. You can see Dad playing in the New Zealand 40 men's and the son playing in the 21 boys. So I just love that part of our game, and I think it's something that's unique to our sport also.
Yeah, tika tonu, and you see, you talk about whānau, as we see a haka from this team acknowledging their whānau and acknowledging the people behind the scenes. So I'd like to give a mention to those who have made this tournament happen, and that's our sponsors as well: Bunnings Warehouse, Indomie New Zealand, One Foundation, SAS Sports, and Silver Fern Sport. So the players who are out there, they get a lot of mihi, but we must also mihi not only to those behind the scenes like our sponsors, but the coaches, the coaching staff, the medical team, and the whānau that make it all happen. As you said, it is a very whānau orientated sport, and there's only one other sport I can think of where a kraua and a mokopuna, and that's wakaama. So it's a very Māori sports, wakaama, and also coming into this touch as well.
I'm glad you mentioned wakaama, because a lot of my students at Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Tarito, or the wharikura, they would go, yeah, Mato, we got a wakaama team, you didn't mention it. So I'm glad you mentioned it.
Kia ora,
Because I would
kia
have got
ora.
a clip around the ears. But I would like to acknowledge about the haka there from Kings Valley. And got a whanaunga there, a good friend of mine, no prouder than a good Hauraki son, Marcus Taukiri. So if he's out there watching, and I have no doubt that he's heard. And also those that know the mixed game, Dean Williams was back in the grade this year. And Dean Williams, I think, would go down if you had an all-time open mixed team that you'd named over the last 20 years. I'd definitely put his name forward to be in that team. So his effect on coming home, his big brother Maya Williams, ranked #1 ref in the world. What they've done back there along with Dali and the Hauraki Plains and Pairoa College Touch, the filter on effect it's had in their mixed game is unbelievable, and I think you just got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, tika tonu, and we talk about this being a Māori sport. I'd like to touch on a Māori concept that I heard once, and it said, ki te kore e whai hua tētahi tō whai te mātauranga maumau te whai. If no one else benefits from your knowledge, it's a waste of time. So it's good to see these big players, these big referees, these big coaches giving back to their whānau and giving back to their home provinces.
I took a tone. I just see, I look at Nelson, and you could just see coming from a small province. I remember, the first time you ever made a final, and some people in their career actually never make a final. They come to this tournament for many, many years and work so hard, but the penny just doesn't drop their way. So I just want to give a lot of credit. I can see we sung Pakai up there. We sung along with Wayne Anderson. He's the head coach of Nelson. Wayne Anderson has been playing touch for a long, long time, many, many years, and he's got a lot of his sons, and he's actually got 3 of his sons playing in there. The Anderson boys. Ben Anderson was part of the New Zealand Touchbacks Open Mixed Team 2016, 2017, so he's definitely been a player that's been identified. And here we have it, #1, Henry Anderson. We have Stringer Wilkins, Macintosh Stark, Taikato number 6 coming through the list. The 3 Anderson brothers, Wayne, Ben and Simon. We sung Paka, Holly Johnson, she's been in the program. Courtney Locke, we've got Webb Smith. And rounding off the team is Angela Stark, and that is your Nelson Open Mixed team. And joining us here alongside, he's just popped in to say a quick kia ora. Peter Walters, you've been in the mixed final yourself and won a few gold medals here.
Tēnā koro and tēnā koutou te whānau. It's great to be here. I'm looking forward to calling this game with you guys. It's an exciting lineup for both teams. Know quite a few of the Auckland lineup, obviously, coming from there. So, mate, it's going to be a good one. I like seeing old Wee Sung Parker still going. It shows you with that experience in there, an old head. You know, he was with Japan for a couple of World Cup campaigns. Great to see him back home.
Yeah, and it's good to see young Mariana Wiriana there. And also we've got a number 4, Tamatea Wiriana. So we've got a bit of a whānau connection there along with Daniel and Lewis Nicol. And also we've got C. Hawken along with their brother Tama Hawken. So, you know, it's quite a family affair on both sides there, Pete. And we were just talking about how touch is a real whānau-based thing. And I know your son's down on the Waikato playing touch, you know, following in your footsteps.
Yeah, following the young fella. But yeah, mate, this mixed lineup for Auckland, a lot of club players that play together as well. So it always helps when you've got a majority of your team that work together. The familiarity around playing club together and now reps together, it's a biggie.
Yeah, so I think the last time I saw Wee Sung in an open mixed final was for Canterbury many years ago when he played there. I'm pretty sure he was in that lineup. But I've watched this Nelson team and been impressed game by game. They've got some mean, lean athletes in there and quite a lot of height there, Pete, you know. And when you've got a nice defensive system, Pete, it's good to have a bit of height getting up in those passing lanes.
Oh, yes. I mean, long levers are very good for jumping high and catching the ball, for diving and extending to put that ball down. It certainly helps if you're tall.
Yes, now, Wee Sung, when was the last time he would have been in the open mix? Been through the early 20?
Yeah, be about maybe 16 years. He was there in 2001 in the Hamilton series.
Yeah, that's going back 2001, 2002. He's still looking like a spring chicken there, Pete.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you look after yourself, then age isn't a barrier.
Here we have Nelson going left to right, Te Aore there. We'll be waiting for this one. A red hat there. Number 9, keep an eye on number 9 there. For them, it's another Anderson brother. He comes just on the backside there, and I like the real tight defence from Auckland. Here we have Logan there, Forrester. He's the adjudicator for this one, and he won't miss a beat. Number 15 there, she's part of the touch crew there. Here's number 9 there, one of the Andersons. Just having filling out this defence, Pete.
Yeah, Auckland didn't work off the line. They worked very slow, and at the last couple of metres, they pushed forward hard.
Few nerves too. I can see there's a few young ones, you know, first time in the big match, Pete, coming here. And, you know, it's an exciting thing. That's great meters there coming up the line.
Yeah, and they're just transition now, so they've got their fresh ones on. There's Rollinson. He's a very fast player, quick feet.
Yeah, just those early nerves. I think passing the ball off and wasn't sure what was happening. But here we go, Nelson. They've managed to get good field position, Pete, on the transition.
Yep, boys coming on now. So the girls are working hard. The link and the winger there. Boys coming on. The middle's there.
You just line up. I can see Ben Anderson here sitting at right link. Gets Bowden. He'll check off and he'll have a scoop here, Ben. He's got a lot of speed, good agility. Just trying to get on the outside there. Play through. Yes, a mistouch. You stay nice and composed, just trying to find a player. That's great work from Ben Anderson, and he's definitely a player that will stand up in this game. Touched back 2016, 2017.
And his agility to get around that defender, James Davidson, he just shifted sideways and got around him. There he goes there. Come back here, he was free, and he had the vision and skill to pass off to a free support player to score.
Yeah, and he played Canterbury Open Men's last year, so, you know, he's been in different systems and gone back home, and no doubt he's passed on that knowledge. But here we go, Tamahokan on the ball, just working number 4 here. Tamatea Winiana, really young talent. Lewis Nicol, got to keep an eye on Lewis. He's sitting there, he's getting the ball. He'll just check this defence. Yeah, looks like, what's the call here?
Yeah, good touch by the other middle that was in the pocket there with the red hat.
Yeah, good work, and he's been working really, really hard there. Jackson Taikato, red hat for there for Nelson. He's going to man this play. He's just looking for someone in behind. Yes, touch and pass. That's great defence by Nelson.
Yeah, the defence is on point at the moment, Nelson.
Tell you, just watching the speed of this game, it's the intensity's really good on the tap off.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a credit to our referees. They've been consistent with being generous with those 5 meters. It's really opening up our game, and it's allowed these players to really express themselves and show their talents out there.
Here we go, Pete just coming in. We've got one more touch here. Probably look like a middle drop that's going to bow in. Yeah, it's good to see
Yeah,
this bow with the check off.
Yes, they're on that same platform. You can see the key players on the ball there. Yeah, skill error there.
And that's that's been around a long time, the old bow, check off and just get him behind that front defender. Really like that. It's probably a touch of Wee Sung's style.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of teams are doing it whereby they have a point defender up and they pass off and they try and get that defender who's sitting back in the pocket.
Yeah, good energy here from Auckland. Is coming through. And look at these nice meters there. Number 8 there. Wilcox, short Wilcox.
We'll see Rollison at a half with speed here.
Yeah. Great work, Pete. Beautiful finish on the far corner, and that's Auckland's game right there, Pete.
Yeah, they've got some wheels and they use it to their advantage there. Still needed the skill to draw and pass. Well done, Auckland.
Yeah, come through. There goes number 1, and a nice finish there for Hawken in the right corner, and it's all tied up 1-1.
Those reads are always hard for the wingers there, especially girls and mix, because you think, oh, I should have hit that, but then if you didn't get there in time, they get the pass away easier. It's a touchdown anyway.
You've got this Anderson combination out there. Number 9 there, looks like they're going to go open side here. Yeah, good touch there by Tama. Just coming through, another good touch. Stepped up into that passing lane. Lewis Nicol, he's had a lot of experience, been in this grade probably the last 3 years. Coming through, but Nelson, nothing to lose coming up in this one, Pete.
That's right, and I like how they're running.
Good read from the link there from Auckland, and super quick transition. Daniel Nicol, he's on the ball. Tama Hawken, nice and direct, coming through. Yeah, good penalty.
Yeah, caught behind the ruck there.
Yeah, good role playing there by Tama. Good to see him. He's doing a lot of defence, and you might not see him get over halfway. His job's to defend, ruck, and then get on the ball players. He's up man Wollaston, the Pete talk with a lot of speed.
Yeah, a bit of a Pearl Jam combination there. Let's see what they run here. They're just quick they quickie the guy and they get outside the girl with his speed. It's a good play and they've been working it well this whole tournament.
Yep, that's probably the difference between teams that really know how to play this mixed game. So and he's probably about 6'2", so he's got speed and height, dives. Touchdown, and Auckland go ahead, Te Aorere 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. That's almost impossible to defend when you do have someone with such height and such pace. But it's good to see the speed of this game. Touch is naturally a fast game, but they've just taken it to another level in this final.
Ben Anderson again, little pass through over the top. Yeah, that's good work from that far winger there, Auckland. Yeah, nice work. Yeah, really like to position there on the line. Ben Anderson, he's getting bowed up again. They're pulling out. Be good to see them work this. That's better work. Work that defender. Come through, drawn pass in the corner. That's great work. They really tested that defence, Pete.
Yeah, well done, Nelson. But the good thing is they're just sticking to their process, staying in the game, not worried about a score line. It's a good touch out there, boys.
Yeah, definitely. And, sometimes when you're called to do a move, Pete, even though something else is on, you don't do it, but they've definitely got their eyes up, heads up touch.
Yes. I mean, you could have a set move, but if they don't give you that, what you want, and you've got to play what's in front of you and just to that on the run.
Yeah, Telly has been talking about that earlier on. We were watching a few games, and that's definitely been the difference between, I guess, the players that have been around a long time. Here goes Nicol, low dive. Nice touch on the inside. Wee Sung, he's still getting low, Pete.
Well done, old fella.
Now, Telly, just looking at this combination here, got a little bit of skill and a bit of speed. Defensively, he's got a long ball here. Oh, got in the lane. Perfect. That's that height we talked about. Long levers.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's good defence there by the link. Just to get up to intercept that passing lane. And as a defending winger, it also allows you to release a little bit. Unfortunately, a bit of an error coming in here for Nelson, allowing Tāmaki back into it.
Yeah, that's, I think, the first set they might not have completed. And it's that little clunky period that Pete always talks about, sort of 7 minutes into a game, we start to see a few errors. But here's Tama there out with Lewis. This is another handy combination. Yeah, real smart operator there. Lewis, he'll get the ball. Yeah, little transition, same again, gets the speed, and he might get the touch there. Number 2.
Yeah, they play this eyes up a lot, and they try and get the link to commit to a middle touch. And when he does, they throw straight to their link, who's on the outside already.
Yeah, clever touch, Pete. And yeah, that's interesting, that play.
Yeah, that's another one of these set plays where you throw to Appeal and you just run behind him for the 3-on-2 overlap.
Yeah, is that an obstruction in your eyes, Pete?
No. No,
Yeah, I always wonder that. I know
Yeah.
another coach
Yes.
in league, you can't run behind a player.
Yeah. If there was a defender coming forward, then it would be.
Okay, that's good to get that clarification. Here we go. Nelson have the ball again. Ben Anderson's on. Yeah, that's better. So he's seen that player lift up. It's going to work here. That's good work. Yeah, good
It
work.
was still on the outside there. He showed well. He just needed to give that ball. So they're doing some good stuff here, Nelson.
Yeah, that's scoreline's 2-2. You know, we'll be going out now nearly 9 minutes. Really like the work of these girls from Auckland. They carry the ball and no nonsense stuff there. They'll do their job, Mariana.
Yeah, the girl on the ball there, Mia McClausen, she's at Waitaka College. Really good performer. She played in the 18 mixed as well. Now she's stepped up to the big time.
Yeah, nice, Pete. So here we go again. Here's the a couple of young pups out here for Auckland. Young Tamatea Winiana. There's another one. It's good to see them putting out this combination. The Anderson brothers there in defence. Just trying to, I guess, manipulate the right player, Pete.
Yeah. And a little follow play there. But, oh, yeah, he called him off. He's offside. So there's a touch there. Try there, boys.
Yes, and these three right here, Logan Forrester, Tony Arnell, and Alicia Ruaiti, top refs. So gets it, and he's just short, eh? Yes, caught him off twice, I think. Yeah, Tony Arnell calls him off and play through rule, and it's a touchdown. Auckland take the lead 3-2.
Yeah, and it's nice variation on attack there. We're seeing these combinations in this Auckland side, and that's a new 3 out there, and it's keeping this Nelson defence guessing.
You know, what a lot of teams do in mixed is they run a 9-5 split, so they have 3 pods of 3 guys, and you tend to just run in your pod, so you get good familiarity with your teammates.
Beautiful read there from the number 2 for Auckland there, Pete. You just mentioned her name before, Mia. She read that passive play. Excellent. Look at this defence.
Look at her lift. Look, she's lifted right up there out of the line to 33 right.
Beautiful work, and she made that touch also. Great work.
Wow.
Oh, beautiful work from me. I want to compliment that girl because she actually knew her role, Pete. Here we have it on the Uffy replay. So they come through again, and it's young Jackson Taikato left to right. Bang, yeah, ball down. Yeah, good call there. Number 2, that's a good touchdown for Stringer.
So this is quite an effective pod for Auckland. So let's see what they come with Rollison and Lewis Nicol and the other boy there, number 16. I think that's Tamahawka.
Yeah, Tamahawka goes. Here's this combination again. Just going to go through the heads. Beautiful work. Probably a bit lazy on the touch there, unfortunately. Just sort of threw the hand out.
Wow.
And, yeah. That made it. That one looked a little bit easy, Pete, on the replay.
It did. I actually thought it was a touch, but obviously the ref thought differently, and they got it down
3v2
in
here.
time. Yes.
Probably a dive would have got it, Pete. You know, a little dive.
He must have just missed it completely there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just sort of threw the hand out. You know, when you're in
Very lazy, especially guy on girl.
So Taurida now, it's another tight one.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's real ping pong out there at the moment, and it's the theme we've seen all day in these finals. No one's really blown out just yet, and it's all our games have gone down to the wires. We see the first rolling penalty given in this final.
Yeah, look, we got. It's good to see the Rambo headband back in action. Yeah, nice work. Yeah, and that's probably 2 of the quickest guys going at each other there. Ben Anderson, Nat Rollison. So sometimes you've got to actually know who you're in front of to pick that one up. But I dare say it's part of the sequence. Here goes Ben, little late cut. No, he's going to go through. Touchdown. Touchdown, man. I think we're probably lacking a bit of communication on the line, Pete.
Yeah, they were the 2 middles there, Daniel Nicol and his cohort there. So the guy just got in behind him, and it meant his support player could get in behind his defender.
Yeah, once again, it's jab for jab, Taurida in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't see too big of a gap between these 2 teams. Just over 7 minutes to play in this first half. It is 4-all. And I'm not confident enough to call a winner just yet.
No, definitely not. I've really liked the look of this James Davison, though. I've watched him over the last few days. Another young player coming through. But no, too early to call this one. It's, when you can't get it away from your position, it's generally field position. Yeah, that's a touchdown. That's just too clever, the old Louis Nicol there.
Yeah, he's good at manipulating the defence. He straightened up that defender and then went on a short side. So it's pretty tough when you're going backwards and there you've got to shift sideways and the other guy's going forward. So good work, Lewis.
Yeah, Nelson just looked like the intensity's dropped a bit. The last try sort of threw the hand up that side, didn't protect his outside, but they don't look tired or anything. So I think just a ignition, a spark, I think, for them, Pete.
And normally on those situations, you still want to pull your short side and let them beat you on the open side where where they can get back on side and get off the line.
Here we go again, Nelson. They've had really good strike attack here. It's going to come and step back, right? He got in the lane well there, but not well enough.
They're running some good plays. They look like a W, but just the link running a hook line.
Yeah, it's
a
almost
close one.
It's almost Mitza Graham like that one, just the double pump, and just to get that link who's coming in, just to get him to leave his feet. They do jump just to get into that lane and that double pump, and a nice little pop ball behind the back of that saving link.
Yeah, and it's normally in the lane, you can sort of jump for those ones, but the pass was just too good. We've got a little walk up here from Tama. He's going to check off. They're going to run this pan play, Pete. Oh no, they're going to readjust. This is good stuff from Auckland. Like how they just don't go through, and he's going to use that split and just waltz over. Just waltz over. So yeah, our defence in that situation, Pete. Any help with that one?
Yeah, I thought they purposely picked out the defender, which in this scenario was Wisung, and just had him he was way in too tight, and they just used their speed to get him on the outside.
Yes, here we go back again. It's a bit of a ping pong match, this one. Both teams are definitely, they've obviously worked a lot on the attack, because here goes Ben Anderson. He's going to come through, run a little phase play, but they've worked it out well. Yeah, nice readjustment. No one's fully committed, Auckland. And I think this could play in Auckland's hand, this sort of static defence and manipulate, touch and pass. The Aucklanders, they're one of the hardest teams to crack at that stuff once they make you find the touch.
Yeah, tika tonu, and this Auckland team is very clinical, and they're really good at presenting good defence to the attacking team, and they're very tricky with their plays.
Yeah, I'd like to look at 13 picture for Auckland. Isaac Tomapio.
Yes, he's a hard worker. He's not one of the flashy ones that's throwing long balls or diving in, but you'll see him grinding all the yards and defending hard.
Yeah, he's definitely got a big motor, hasn't he, Pete?
He has.
Yep, and he's sort of that enforcer that every team likes to have, sort of a more mature player in there. Yeah, I've really liked his. Sometimes those players go unnoticed, but when you know the value of that type of player, so it's great to see Isaac, and he's been in good form for the last few years. Here comes Tai Kato, red hat. He's actually got a brother who's also a good player, and they just lost count there. Yeah, I just think they've lost a bit of the spark that we saw in the start of the first half.
Yeah, I think it's also a bit of lapses and just staying engaged and staying in the game. It's quite easy when your body goes, you get a bit fatigued, a little bit of mental fatigue comes into it, and you lose a bit of focus, and it only takes 1 or 2 seconds for these little lapses to create an error.
Yep, here we go once again. So they're just throwing out a lot of different pods, aren't they, Pete?
Yeah, they are.
So here's the Nicol brothers. They got a lot of backyard moves up their sleeve. They got a little, the old little pop play, the old little haps play sometimes they use. Yeah, and he really controls the tempo well. Here goes Tai Kato. This is where he needs to pull a really strong corner. Yeah, there's that nice little play. And those are the ones you've got to force Louis to throw long in that situation. But, they've managed to slow the game down well, Auckland, Pete.
Yeah, and their manipulation of the defence is top notch. I mean, they're picking them out. They're knowing which is the short side and the open side. And when they split their way, because the defence has to adjust from a left side open side to a right side real quick, And if they don't, then it's a late reaction in this.
So Auckland lead Nelson in the open mixed final. Taurere 7-5, 2 minutes. Ben Anderson's been a real threat for the Nelson team.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a huge set for Nelson. They'd love to go into the break with a narrow gap of 1 point. So hopefully they can strike here and hit back.
Great work, beautiful work. And, you know, when you're watching Ben Anderson, he actually doesn't look like he's running fast, but he's actually got quite a long stride. So he gets a 32 long, steps back, draws the defence, comes through, and Logan Forrester, all the top referees are right on the money. And you called it, Taurere, they're in with one, and if they can do what we call a stopper, they should still be quite confident.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it. It is that deceptive speed. It doesn't look like they're moving quickly, but before you know it, you're dusted.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I've been dusted a few times.
And Auckland is certainly, they're changing their pods to get Lewis on all these line attacks because he's had the hot hand. And there it goes again. They're just putting him on attack every set. It's smart coaching.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, definitely. And that's that little play we were talking about before, that little haps. And just disguise it. It's the tempo is where they get them. So he's just a walk up and just that little rap play, which was made famous by Bay of Plenty Open Mixed, and yourself also faked the old dump. And now they've pushed out to 2 with a minute to go. And we'll just see who's on the ball. Yeah, Tai Kato's out there. It's good to see him out there. And also Stringer's there. Here's Tai Kato. Red hat. Keep an eye on him. He's had a really good tournament. Just they step up into that lane well. Little face play. Nice work. That's a good outside read from young Mia, the Auckland link. Been also impressed with a couple of these young Auckland girls that are still in the school system and the youth system and playing in the open mixed grade.
A lot of teams in this point in time, if you're the defending team with 30 seconds to go, you just suck back in and take the risk of maybe pulling a penalty in, but not having to commit to making any touches.
Yeah, great work. Just dropped it. Unfortunately, dropped it. But they have got a lot of attacking play up there, Steve Nelson. They can definitely foot it with this Auckland team, no doubt.
I actually see a lot of similarities in their attacks. They like to go to those little eyes up tricky plays. They're not really by the book, both these teams, and they're really finding each other out there.
Yeah, and there's the halftime hooter. Auckland take the lead 8-6. This is the open mixed final, and these are the top 2 teams, provinces in the country. And there's nothing in this one, gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. There is not a lot between these 2 teams. But while we have you in here, Pete, and your wealth of knowledge and experience, you've played in many of these big games. Just for myself personally, and for those who are watching, how do you cope, or do you do anything prior or during the game just to calm your nerves, to be able to clear your mind and perform in such a high level?
Yeah, look, I suppose it's just staying focused the whole time. I mean, sometimes you possibly are going to make an error or make a bad decision, but it's just moving on to the next thing that you need to do. We all say that to the boys, it's just, what do I need to do next? If you made an error, then you're always thinking, okay, well, yep, I'll take that in. I know that I've made that error and I don't want to do that again, and then you just move on from it. So.
Yeah, tika tonu tērā. So we see they are in their huddles, and what would they be talking about next for the second half?
Well, I think Auckland's up at the moment, Hika.
Yeah, they're up 8-6 at the moment. And it's just been the attack. I mean, when you look, it's a half-time there. We've had 14 touchdowns. So, if Nelson can readjust, more so, they probably need to identify who's on the ball, and what is it? Is it speed or is it smarts? And I think that's probably the first thing. You talked about sucking back, Pete. They probably need to take on a little bit of that when Auckland have got a really good flow on effect. So if they can just tighten up their D, they can definitely go at it with Auckland with attacking prowess.
And I think, Auckland's coach, Pete Samuels, he's a smart operator. He's a mixed specialist. He's been there for a long time. He's worked with a lot of these kids for a number of years. And so you talked about trick plays before. They certainly have a lot of those trick plays in their arsenal. They do different things. They do little pops. They do nice quickie combos. They do the eyes up plays where you'll find, Nelson are more traditional, running a lot of sweep plays, running a lot of plays where the links and the wingers are chopping hard, and they tend to move more than Auckland does. Auckland's are very clever because they've played a long time. They have a whole lot of skills that they can use that are sort of not the norm, if you like.
I guess Nelson's strength is the running game. Auckland has got a little bit of running and a little bit of those trick plays. So I think both teams are definitely playing to their strengths.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see Auckland, they are going to their strengths. I was really impressed by Nathan out there in the first half. He set up a lot of tries. He scored a lot of tries. And he's also back out there now. He'll look to lead this attack alongside with number 6, Lewis Nicol.
Yeah, Mariana Winiana, she's also been part of the mixed scene. Her older sister, Michael Liddy, she played touch New Zealand 70 mix, so it's in the blood. Here goes Lewis, just looking to get in there. Phase play, going to go through the hands there. That's a good reaction from Nelson. And yeah, they're definitely out there. This is where they want to make their touches, out of the 5. He's going to get the ball again, Lewis. Just having a look there, popping over. That's a good win for Nelson to start the second half.
Yep, and Auckland started with their strong pod that's been successful in the first half, but they didn't score on that occasion.
Yeah, I think this running game for sure, if Nelson can keep a high tempo and just run for the next 20 minutes, I think it's going to put them in good stead to go all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do talk about transition from yards into that striking play as we see this Nelson side. I like to see them create a lot of space and chew up the meters up the field to set a nice platform for the speedsters like this one.
Yeah, it's still going to be a good finish to their set for Nelson, but they've actually handed the ball straight over, so Auckland are going to go straight out and come back, but it's a good way to start the second half.
Yeah, let's see how Auckland get down to the other end with their transition. Driving one forward there, they're all heading towards the box now.
Yeah, like this part of the game, this orange zone, this transition zone, you can really, as a defensive team, put heat on and try and make the team a little bit clunky coming on. Or as the attacking team, you can really take advantage. So here they go. Here's Davidson, ball in 2 hands. That's a great read by the Nelson winger there, Courtney Lott. And Courtney, actually, she's been part of the system too. So it's good to see her out there and still playing the mixed touch game that she has played for many years.
Yeah, their girls have been playing very well, Nelson, on attack and defence.
I see Angela Stark. She's done some good things, come over from Australia and working down there with Touch Nelson. Here's Albini on the ball, going to look to go through. Oh, great touch. That's a beautiful touch by young Tamatea Winian.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also great defence by this Auckland side to close out this Nelson attack early on in the second half. We see no tries yet, so it's just a lot of ping pong and the arm wrestle.
Yes, yeah, definitely. They managed to pick up a nice penalty here. So here goes Mariana Winiana. She'll go up at number 8 there. We've got Short Wilcox at half. Nichols on, Hawks on, along with Rolliston. They're just really taking control of the tempo. Sometimes you don't realise that a team slowed the game down when you're still going 100 miles an hour. So they do this really, really well.
Yeah, here's their attacking pod. They've scored or set up most of the touchdowns for Auckland. See what they come up with now. So it's a sweeper play. It's gone back into a crush. Short long over the top. Winger in the corner. Great play.
Yeah, good work and good to see young Tama. He's been working tirelessly on defence, but then he gets an opportunity to set one up. So he comes in here, little play, gets the ball back, eyes up, straight to the winger. That's a lovely touchdown to his sister in the corner there. Now Auckland stretch it out to a 9-6 lead. This is the Open Mix 2020 National Championship. Bunnings Warehouse final. It's an exciting one, Te Aorere.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a nice little variation there by Nathan running that sweep play. He usually backs his speed and goes the outside, but it was a good little jink there and coming back to the short side with the long ball.
And speaking of excitement, we've got the exciting roving reporter with us. George Yonke come from ground level. What's it like out there, Georgie?
Oh, mate, it's excitement. The crowd is pumped. We're all on the bank here, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the action, enjoying the 15 touchdowns that's been so far with 15 kilometres per hour wind and sunshine between 25 and 28 degrees. and touchdowns galore. It is nothing but excitement. It's speed versus flair down there. Which is which? I don't know.
Sounds like Jim Hickey in here. Outstanding weather report, George. Loving it. So great work. Now George, you've known Wisang Paka for a long time. How awesome is it seeing him still playing in the open mixed grade?
Oh, how cool is it? It's good to have him back. He's been overseas in Japan doing great things over there and got them on the world stage, to be honest. They're one of the great finds in the men's and now women's scene. So let's look at next World Cup. They'll be a force to be reckoned with. He's back here, back home, doing his teaching thing, doing his hunting thing, and also still doing the touch thing.
Yeah, and here goes nickel number 5 going through, and not too sure what's going on with the pink on the blue and white uniform there from Auckland. They got a new colour change there that we haven't been told. Pink's going to be the new blue and white there out of Auckland. So here we go, Nelson marching up the field, coming on, and this is Benny Anderson's on there. I think Auckland have had these strikers out there as much as possible, and they need to get Benny on there as much as possible. Also, super fit, play Canterbury Open Men's. He's going to use the speed just to cruise through. Just needs a great mirror defence. Oh no, she managed to lose her defender. Beautiful touchdown, and he's just injected himself at the perfect moment, at the perfect time.
Yeah, and this is nice attack here. Good variation. And we see that mismatch, the girl versus the boy. She shook her defender, and Nelson hit back and narrowed this gap to a 2-point lead. So no doubt, if they can D this one out, perhaps they can shift a bit of momentum in the second half.
Yeah, Holly Johnson touchdown then. She's also been through the pathway system. And here we go, the speed, and Nate Wollaston. It's a play-on rule. And yeah, just a little bit too easy, that one.
Yeah, and they do back their little plays. They come up. We've mentioned the eyes up footy. He scores it off the tap, and you don't see it often, but with this Auckland mixed side, they love to go to these tricky little plays.
Yeah, too much speed, too much finesse. Rolliston rolls through. He keeps rolling, and it's touchdown. Number 10 for Auckland, and what a game this is.
Yeah, 70 touchdowns, and we've still got ample time on this one. Once again, we're going to run a little 33 peel. They're just getting up there, want to look for a little phase. Yeah, that's good defence there. Just holding off the Auckland defence. No one's really committing to what we call a shut defence. They get a nice, positive, strong point defender out there. Going to run a 32 peel with the wrap. Yeah, gets in the lane. Great work. Yeah, unfortunate there. Looked like he was onside, but lifted too early. But there we go. We get down on there, and the adjudicator has seen something, so they get a repeat set.
A repeat set, and it's going to one of the minnow provinces of the nation here, Nelson, and it's great to see them on the stage. The crowd is loving this, and Thames Valley is showing their stuff, Wanganui is showing their stuff, and this is their time. Nelson, it's time now, 10-7 with 12 minutes to go. Anything is possible.
And I just want to say a big counter to everyone down there, Te Tauihoa Te Waka, top of the South Island. That'll be all tuned in, and really happy with that good lift there by Mariana Winiana at the right link for Auckland. She just saw Ben Anderson there and just knew there was something brewing.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's good positive defence here. Just to get up the line, off the line, you saw she made the touch out on the 5 metre, so nice little lift there. And good smarts to predict what's coming next.
Totally. Yeah, now they're just really good transition between the females and the males. Here goes young James Davidson. You've been liking the look of this young kid. Oh, look at that pass right to left. Good set completion for Auckland, because the ball's gone out. They can go back, set the defence, move back into their positions. And they can have a bit of an attacking defence.
Yeah, and that's right, and that's what I've noticed in this game. Being down on sideline, just seeing how the teams act, and it's been, as hot as it is, it's been cool, calm and collective. These guys got a lot of things in the back pocket. They've been under pressure before, so they're just coming out with move after move. It's exciting to see. The coaches have done the homework, and it's now to put it on the big stage here, and it's going to be who's wanting it most in the last 11 minutes of this game.
Yeah, look at Mia just go hunting in there, working hard. And sending the ball, this is a great defensive policy from Auckland. They've really moved it. Look at these two Auckland girls out here on the wing. There's nowhere to go, and got to keep an eye on some of these young ladies out of Auckland. Mia, coming through the systems. Here's Davidson, and then on come this attacking pod that have pretty much stepped up. Their strike rate will be really, really high.
Yeah, speaking of exceptional ladies throughout the tournament, I've really liked what I've seen with Thames Valley. Very hearty, very loud, very confident. So there's good scenes to be set. And once again, rolling, has done it. Number 7, touchdown is on fire.
Yeah, we just sort of talked at halftime, you want to really point out and let everyone know who's on the field. And even if it's, hey, the fast guy, so you've really got to identify your opponent. And yeah, Nate, he's making a big stamp. He was part of the Touch Blacks in 2017. He's gone away and really worked on his craft. And he's having a really big game here in the final.
Yeah, and this event has been full of stars throughout the event. We talked about the rising of the phoenix of these little provinces coming to the big stage, but it's also been the rise of the experience. We talked about Weesung. We go back to Thames Valley. The real number 6 of 2007. He is here today, and so is Nelson.
Yeah, that's just great work. Yeah, great work trying to argue with the ref there, but unfortunately you can't make touches offside. And it's that man again, it's Ben Anderson. He comes around, sort of gets stuck in the mud, comes back, steps through, ball down. And you've got to have both feet behind the line there, George.
Yeah, both feet behind the line, and especially when you're playing Australia, mate. And going back to that man, Dean Williams, I'd like to get a shout out to him. I haven't seen him for many, many years. I think it's 7 years since he's played open level. But if you want to look him up, the real number 6 from the World Cup 2007. If you haven't seen the highlights reel, that's one to look up on YouTube.
Here's Winiana Tamatea. Yeah, nice platform there. This is good work. Check it, that's better defence. Yeah, nice. You can see Weesung in the bright boots. He's actually leading the defence, leading the communication. They want to get out and make that touch. Just taking their time. Nice work there, and yeah, just nice work by. And once again, he's got it on a string there, Nickel for Auckland. Just going to watch it on the replay, Sasport.
Yeah, too quick, too slick. Here we go, setting up. Nickel knows the dummy half position well. Look at his feet, look at the footwork, the stepping, the agility. It's like he's got 6 legs, and then passes out the back door. Nice touchdown for Auckland. Number 1.
Yeah, great work. Good to see. And Nelson, they're going to get the ball back. The score is now 12-8. 9 minutes left in the second half of this huge gold medal match for 2020. And yeah, they've risen in this one. They're in the big final. Nelson, it's great to see. Here's Taikato, red hats, checking off back inside the green boots. Nichols up there. There's a lot of aggression in his defence.
Well, the heat is on here. Everything's happening in the commentary box. Everything's happening on the field. I'm going close by to see and feel the heat because I'm sensing something brewing in the last few minutes of this game.
Yeah, nice defence from Auckland. Are really releasing. They're holding well and then releasing out. I think that sort of play, you want Nelson to run the other way where you get that mismatch. They're running sort of guy on girl, but they're still really positive in the attack.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's good chain defence there by Auckland. And it's also just a little bit of enthusiasm and energy we saw. I'm not too sure who it was there, but he was out there jumping around, just trying to get his team up on the fence. And it's just those little moments, just that spark you need just to maintain the good lead.
Now, Pete, you've been in this situation many a times. You've been in a game and been down by a few touchdowns. How do you sort of claw your way back?
Well, look, you have to just work to get one. You've got to work to get one. You've got to keep everyone focused. You're aiming to get the next touchdown, not looking at the overall score that you're 3 behind or 4 behind.
And here we go again. It's that man, and be interesting to see how many touchdowns he has actually set up here. And it's good to see you. Very, very humble. Puts the ball down and goes straight off to the sub box. So that's Nate Wollaston there. I think I've seen him score at least 4 or 5. And it was the old little ninja play that they pulled out the bag. And there we go again. Nelson trailing Auckland 8-13.
Yes, and they certainly had the hot hand, like Lewis Nickel and the combination with Rollinson. It's been working, and they've gone back to it. And why not? We've got a hot hand. You've got to keep running with it.
Yep, so true, Pete. So true. So here's old Ben Smith again. Yeah, I really like I really like the connection of the Auckland winger and Link. The girls, they're in tight, they're getting out of their comfort zone, but they know their role. Here's Ben Anderson, comes through. Every time he's been on the ball, gentlemen, he's either set up one, scored, or got a recount.
Yeah, he's been playing well for Nelson. In fact, all the brothers have been playing well. They've been going solid, just that the Auckland has been pretty sharp in their attack.
Yeah, well, they're going for their 5th title in a row here, the Auckland Open Mixed. A lot of the players that got the first 3 gold medals have all moved on to Open Women's and Open Men's. That's a lovely touchdown in the corner here. They've just stayed so positive. They've never dropped their head, Nelson, and they score another top one in the corner there. Beautiful finish.
Yeah, and that's good attack. And it's that never say die attitude from this Nelson attack. We see a beautiful right to left there to score in the corner.
Yeah, Smith, Shannon Smith, lovely touchdown to her. And these ladies have been playing big minutes from both teams through the whole tournament. Here we go again. It's good to see the confidence growing now with young Tamatea Winiana, number 4. He definitely doesn't look out of place. He's still a young boy, but stepping up. Yeah, there we go again. You've got to keep your eye on lovely touchdown. Once again, you just can't lapse, Pete.
Nah, Lewis Nichols on fire, and they keep going in, and all the stuff is working, so you just got to keep it working. Personally, as the coach, I would take him off here and just save him, let the other defenders come on, just save him for attack. But they're up by a fair amount here, and time's running out, so they're going well.
Yes, they are going well. So the score is 14-9 if you've just tuned in. It's Auckland playing Nelson in the open mixed grade, and it's unreal. We've had 23 touchdowns. I know the defensive coach might be having a bit of a talking to after this one on both teams, Pete, but it's beautiful flowing touch.
Yep, there's certainly some great attack out there.
He's number 9. He's worked tirelessly. Also, Simon Anderson. I'm pretty sure Dad Wayne would be pretty happy with his kids, eh, Pete?
Yeah, Wayne. He's been a touchy his whole life. You know, been a great player and now a great coach. And to see him with his kids coming through, he'd be very proud.
Yeah, and he's just chipped away and always stayed staunch to making sure that the Nelson home fires are always burning. Yeah, good work there. Yeah, and there goes Pink. We'll call him Pink there. Pink take there, Pete. And back to Auckland. Here comes Tama coming through. Laid a nice platform. Does that really, really well. Ball in hand. Working hard again. Yeah, nice work and good connection between these players.
Yeah, into transition now. There's James Davison just come on the field. Isaac on the ball. And Nate's there. So they could possibly just get Nate scooping out a half here, I'd say.
Yeah, he's just going to eye him up, come off right foot. He might throw a little tuck play in behind. Just come through. Davison checks it back in, and good work. Beautiful touch here. Never giving up. That's the attitude I like from Nelson.
And it's a good change of pace here from Auckland. They were playing at 100 miles an hour, but they do have a nice little buffer out there. So they're just slowing the ball down. They're running some low-risk plays just to complete all of their sets and just to run the clock out.
Yeah, he's been again on a sweep plays coming through. Just look at him glide, when he runs. Just a real smooth athlete. He's a great basketballer also. Yeah, one of those X-Factor athletes. But Auckland, they've been far too good in the second half. 3 minutes to go. And the score reads 14-9. Unofficial so far, but they've definitely just been far too good, Pete.
Yeah, and the coach, I think, now would just be say, look, no errors, let's complete our sets and run the clock down. They'll still be trying to score, of course, and staying in the game as such, but certainly not making any errors so that they give Nelson more ball on the line. Wow, look at that. Mia hitting a nice hook line there, and once again, who's the one throwing the ball? That's Lewis Nichol.
Yeah, Mia, I've been really impressed. She thoroughly deserves it, all these Auckland girls, but she ran that line, probably for 15 metres, just held her line nice and clean, and went through. Just want to give credit to Peter and Philippa Samuel on the Auckland side. And on the other side, Megan and Wayne Anderson. So a really whānau-orientated team in the management and coaching.
Yeah, tika tonu. And as you said, I'd like to give a shout out to Mia as well. She's been doing a lot out there, not only on attack, but defence as well. And a nice little chop line there. And she deserves a try.
Yep. All the top open mixed teams that come through. Basically, the ladies have been, I think, the most important part to the jigsaw pieces, and it's wonderful to see some new blood coming through. Here goes Anderson, just getting out on the outside. Yeah, good work. They're keeping them honest right through to the last minute 30 to go, Pete, and Nelson's still hot on attack. Great work there. So it's a good completion for Auckland. It's working here through. Just pretty much the game's in the bag for Auckland. They're going to come through. It'd be good to see. You always just want to finish the game with no errors.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Pete said before, they'll just look to control this. They've, in the last 4 minutes of this game, they've just slowed the pace right down. And by slowing it down, they've increased their chances of just completing their set and maintaining the ball. As we see these little tricky plays, it's that same duo out there.
Yeah, great touch there again. And I think they're going to ice this one, 7 and 6. There's Nickel. Number 8, number 9 here. He's a good young talent also, just coming out through. Beautiful hands. Excellent hands here by Mariana. Just, it's not easy to get your timing sometimes off those sort of plays.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the ability of the girls in both these teams. And you said that is the final piece of the jigsaw sometimes in these mixed grades. So we've seen a lot of skillful women out there jamming today.
Yeah, good work. Now, Nelson, they're going to finish this game. Ben Anderson on the ball. No better man to get on the back end. It's the 5th and final here. They're going to go through. Just keep running it through. I think they'll play right through this play. And touch it there. And there you have it. Auckland Open Mix. They go 5 in a row. This is their 5th title, Auckland Open Mix. And you've got to give it to them. They were a classy outfit in the second half. But all respect and pay homage to Nelson, because they've really given the Open Mixed grade a good old shake.
Yeah, absolutely. And we mentioned it in the pre-game quarter there that they were a dark horse to come and make this final, and it's good to see Nelson on the big stage, and no doubt we'll see more and more of this. It's a huge confidence booster for this region down in Te Waipounamu.
Yeah, well, Otago's been pretty much the powerhouse in the Open Mixed game in the South Island, and actually nationally they've been one of the best teams, but now Nelson has really put their hand up. And I think it's great for the South Island touch, and I think it's great for New Zealand touch. Got some nice young players coming through our pathway system. It's good to see the former Ben Anderson. You know, he's always been acknowledged. He's made the Touch New Zealand teams coming through, so it's good to see that form. But back to Peter Samuel and his group that have worked really, really hard, and I guess carried on. Tony Lagahitel, he started off this dynasty in the Auckland mixed grade, sort of 2016, 17. And these young ones have come through, and it's sort of like those, all good teams with a succession plan. Doesn't matter who comes in, they just get the job done, Tauri.
Yeah, absolutely. And it becomes a part of the team, and it becomes not about individuals that come in. They build cultures and they build systems. We always draw on Waikato and what they do down there. And it's similar with this open mixed team here in Auckland. And what it is, these players come in and they just slot right in and they look comfortable. And even in this final, even though they're going 100%, they just look comfortable and relaxed out there.
Yeah, and how many touchdowns we have there? I think it was close to 24 touchdowns, and that's huge in an open final, but I think that's also credit for the open style of touch that Logan Forrester, Tony Arnell and Alicia Duwaiti, the 3 referees, allowed this game to be so open, and all the players come out with just a really positive attitude to express themselves.
Absolutely, and I keep going back to what Maya has said in the box. The best referees are the ones you don't notice, and I'll be honest, I didn't notice the referees, which is a mihi to them, and how they officiated the game, allowing it just to be a free-flowing game, and these 2 very talented teams were allowed to express themselves out there.
Yeah, great work all round, and everyone's come to the party today, especially the weather. The conditions here in Rotorua, it's one of my favourite places coming to anyway, Teldon.
Yeah, absolutely, and we must mihi to our haukainga to Te Arawa, who have put it on here, and year after year they do it, not only at the Nationals, but also at the Māoris and the juniors as well.
And now we're going to shoot down to our roving reporter, George Onke.
Oh, here from a great game. It was a game with the art of manipulation. And I've got the captain of manipulation here, Lewis Nicol. How does it feel, my friend?
Yeah, it feels pretty good, Georgie. For our crew, we're getting the 5th title in a row for the Auckland province in the mixed grade. So it's something that we're really happy that we could achieve, and we appreciate everyone coming down and watching us online and being able to see us do our stuff.
Nice, and you led by example. I had a few texts from my friends over in USA watching this live on Sky Next and also on Sky 9, and they said to me, the saying was, you get a nickel and you rub it together and you get gold. How does that feel, my friend?
Yeah,
Number 5.
Yeah, no, it feels pretty good, especially being out here with my brother and some of my best mates for life that I've met through the sport. So just really thankful for the opportunity to play in front of everyone and get the job done again.
Nice, and it's been a hard battle for you guys. When we put it down to facts, it's been 11,000 minutes of touch over this weekend, and it comes to this moment. You've been here 5 times for Auckland. Mate, what's the secret?
I think it's just the hard work from the people that have done it before us. We've really taken pride in appreciating the people that have been here before us and the jersey that we wear, and just making sure that we go out and give our all for not only ourselves but everyone else.
Nice work. I'm going to let this man get back to his team. He's done a great job leading by example. They're taking the title number 5. They're up there with the greats, Bay of Plenty. Are you going to come back next year?
Yeah, I'll be back here next year, just unsure on the grade yet, but yeah, I'll definitely be back.
Nice work. There it is, folks. And we got more excitement to come with the Open Men's Grand Final. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon on Sky. Touch. What a game.